Greetings on behalf of the Troup County School System. Thank you for tuning in today. You're watching Spotlight on Education, and I'm your host, Tina Duckett, Director of Public Relations. And this is a great way for you to learn about our school system and our programs. And joining me today is Ms. Shanitra Ransom, and she serves as the Coordinator of Student Assignment. So we want to learn more about the Office of Student Assignment and some of the wonderful things that they do to help our children enroll in school. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
We're so glad you're here. So let's just dive right into it.
Okay.
We know that our precious babies are getting ready to go back to school. Mm-hmm. And for some, there are new students who may come into our system. So tell us what the Office of Student Assignment, what do you do and what are some of the services that you offer?
Okay. Well, we like to think of the Office of Student Assignment as the welcoming center for the school system. If you're new to Troup County, if you've relocated within the county, if you just have questions in general about school assignment, we'd love for you to visit our office. We're located at the Administrative Services Center, located on 100 North Davis Road, right in the same building with the superintendent's office, with your office.
Okay,
so we're happy to have parents to come and meet with us to have their children's enrollment information taken care of, or if they have questions about school assignment in general.
Okay, so what are some of the services?
Our services range from enrollment of new students,
okay.
And those are, again, students who are new. If you did not attend a Troup County school last year, you are considered a new student. So we would like for you to come to our office so that we can greet you and get the information from you that will assist us in assigning your student to school. We also handle district transfers, whether that's a student who has, and their family has relocated from one address in Troup County to a new address.
So that would be like, for example, if I once lived in West Point and I move to the Callaway area.
Precisely.
Okay.
If you relocated from West Point to Hogansville,
okay.
or even if you moved from one address in the LaGrange area to a new address in LaGrange, sometimes that will require a change in school assignment. There are times when that may not, but you're better safe than sorry to come and check with us so that you can know that you're in the right school zone for your student.
Okay.
And that will be considered a transfer. We also have transfers for students. If you have not moved, there's an opportunity to apply for a district transfer, and that's under the state law, House Bill 251.
Now, I've heard a little bit about House Bill 251. I've seen it in the newspaper because I think we're supposed to keep our viewers informed that way, and so we publish that information. Tell us more about House Bill 251.
Well, we like to have parents abreast of the information that in regards to student transfers, and this is the state bill, so it's an umbrella for the entire state. But as it applies to Troup County, House Bill 251 gives you an opportunity to apply for a transfer to another school. For example, if your student attends one of our 3 high schools and you're looking for a transfer to another high school, whether it's for curriculum offering or just whatever reason that you may have, you can apply for House Bill 251. It's not an automatic transfer. We have to make sure that there's space availability. Okay. It is based on space availability and classroom sizes and program offerings. Okay. So we want to clear up that misconception. A lot of times parents think, well, I can just apply for this and it's a golden ticket to transfer to another school. And it's not really quite that simple. What it is an opportunity to apply based on the legislature's passage of House Bill 251, but also we have to consider space and teacher student ratios. There's a lot of things we have to take into consideration.
And that just makes sense because you don't
Absolutely.
want the classrooms that are crowded and you have space in one school and not the other. So
Absolutely.
that certainly makes sense. So what about assignment appeals? Your office handles that as well?
We also handle appeal of assignments. Based on your current address is how we make assignments to schools. So wherever your address is in the county, we take that into consideration as far as which school you will attend. If you need to make an appeal, the most common appeal relates to working parents and childcare. For example, if you have employment hours that are contrary to your child's school hours, and there's a child care provider that will step in and assist with your child during the times that you are working, it may require for your child to attend a different school. And in times of those situations, we like to be able to assist parents and achieving their desired school where they can, provide for their families and working families, and also be able to send their child to school in a safe environment. So what we provide in that case is a employment and child care appeal process. You have to submit documentation to our office so that we can verify your employment. We also will verify your child care provider information so that we can make sure that everything's legitimate.
Right.
And definitely there's a process and tag for that so that we can verify. But once that process handles, it goes through a committee. And then at that point, if you're awarded the appeal, it's valid for 1 year. And you have to renew each year to make certain that the conditions are still the same. If you change employment and your employment is no longer conducive to an appeal, then it may not be granted the next year. But if things remain the same, you're still employed, say if you're working a third shift job and your child needs to stay with a babysitter and go to school closer to the babysitter's home, in that instance we would award the appeal. And
this is the committee is just made up of volunteers or school officials, or a combination?
It's made up of school officials. So at that point is they're school officials who are very versed and well informed on our school policies and procedures for the district, and we know what it takes to definitely make the parent, the school, and the student work hand in hand. So we want to make certain that it's a process that helps the schools as well as helps families.
Creating a win-win situation.
Absolutely, that's our goal.
Yeah. So you mentioned before about handling enrollment for new students. Tell me about that process.
Well, our office, again, we like to service the welcoming committee for new families, and a lot of times when you're relocating to a new place, sometimes that can be overwhelming, and for kids it can be kind of scary. Yeah. So what we like to do is to provide them the best customer service so that they can feel that coming to school, coming to Troup County, that you're welcome, that you can be informed, and at least you can know where you're going to go to school. So that's something that our office takes very seriously. Coming to a new school system can sometimes be overwhelming, but we want to take that piece and just definitely work well with parents. Okay. We use their address again to make school assignment, but we require a few documents for them to transfer into our system.
And they get those documents at your office?
Well, the enrollment documents are available at our office, and they're also available on our website at troup.org under the parents link. So that's something that we can provide as a faster service to parents. They can download the forms for enrollment, or they can just simply visit our office and retrieve the forms. But we're also ask for parents to supply us with documentation so that we can verify their student's age via the birth certificate. We request the Social Security card for the student, and there are also 2 health documents that we request. The Georgia immunization, and it's important to note that it has to be on the Georgia form. If you're transferring from another state and you're coming in from maybe Kentucky, that Kentucky immunization form will not be valid for school registration here in Troup County.
Oh, I see.
So students will need to have a Georgia immunization form, and that's a simple form that can be picked up from the health department here in Troup County, or retrieved from a local pediatrician's office. Okay. And they'll take your out-of-state form and transfer it to a Georgia form. So that's something that parents need to be aware of, as well as the other health document, the ear, eye, and dental screening form. And those forms, we like to say that in order for children need to be healthy to learn and be able to participate in school, so that they can have those 2 forms.
Right.
So those are important forms to have.
Do you know the numbers of those forms?
I do.
Okay.
The form for immunization is the 3231.
3231.
And the form for the ear, eye, and dental is a 3300.
3300.
Yes.
Okay, so parents need to have those if
those
they're
2
enrolling
for the first time. If you're a new student, or if you maybe attended Troup County School several years ago and you're re-entering, it just helps the process to have those forms available.
Okay, all right. So are there specific dates a student may enroll? as a new student
new
to
student.
Troup County. Yes.
That's one of the misconceptions that we like to clear up. A lot of times when school is out for the summer and teachers have gone home, students have gone home, a lot of times they think that that's the entire school system has, shut down for the summer. Our office is available year-round. We're there 12 months out of the year. So there's a lot of work that goes into preparing for the next school year during the summer months. And we encourage parents, as soon as you relocate, as soon as you're settled, come into our office and take care of your enrollment process. It helps you to get into the flow of getting ready for school, so we can assign you to a school. In turn, you can be assigned to a classroom and be ready to meet your child's teacher at the registration day.
Now that's only K through 12, not pre-K.
Not pre-K. Pre-K
Okay.
is handled separately. That's a different umbrella under the state, and there is an office specifically designated to handle the pre-K students, those 4-year-olds that will attend school.
Okay.
But for kindergarten through 12th grade, the Office of Student Assignment will be able to assist parents with those needs.
Okay. So let's move on and let's talk about registration.
Okay.
Because I know as a parent I use the terms interchangeably, in registration and enrollment,
Right.
when in fact they are two different, they have two different meanings
Right.
in terms of the school system. So let's talk about registration
Okay.
and what happens at the elementary, middle, and high school level when a student is registering.
Well, the easiest way to differentiate between enrollment and registration is to think, where did my child go to school last year? If you were enrolled in Troup County Schools last year, there's not a need for you to come to the Office of Student Assignment. So if your child finished a school in Troup County, then you are enrolled with us.
Okay.
And that child will be able to register for classes at their school, their assigned school, in the coming weeks. If you're brand new, you of course would have to visit the Office of Student Assignment. But if a student is, and if your child's promoted to a new division, if you're transferring from elementary to middle, from middle school to high school, then sometimes that presents a little bit of confusion. Do I need to go and re-enroll my child? Fortunately, the child is being promoted and they just flow on to their feeder school.
So it's just the registration
It's just
process,
a registration. It's
not
a
an
seamless
enrollment.
flow. It
Yes.
is. For high school students, Wednesday, July 24th, from 12 to 6, rising ninth grade students and rising seniors will be able to register at their assigned high school.
Okay.
And on Thursday, July 25th, rising 10th graders and rising 11th graders from 12 to 6 will be able to register. And again, that's where you pick up your schedule, where you can pay your fees, and where you can tour your school and just get reacquainted with the going back to school process.
Okay, say those dates and times again.
I
slowly.
will. The dates for seniors and for freshmen, rising seniors and rising freshmen, Wednesday, July 24th from 12 to 6.
Okay.
And if you have a rising sophomore or rising junior, that date will be Thursday, July 25th from 12 to 6.
Okay. Good. What about middle school?
Middle school will have their Meet the Teacher Day registration process on Monday, August 5th. And those are students who will be in grades 6, 7, and 8 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday, August 5th.
Okay. Is that the same date for elementary?
Elementary is different. It's the following day.
Okay.
So this is something that I think will definitely assist parents. If you have children in multiple divisions or different grade levels, you can take care of your high school student during the July dates, your middle school student on the August 5th date, and last but certainly not least, the elementary students on Tuesday, August 6th. And those are students who are in elementary grades, kindergarten through 5th grade, from 12 to 6 on Tuesday, August 6th.
And all of this information can be found on our website on the school calendar as well.
Absolutely.
So parents, if you didn't catch that, visit our website and look at the school calendar for the 2013-2014 school year, and all of this information is there. Now let's talk about forms that are needed for the registration process. Are there certain forms?
Each school has a way of verifying their student's address. You have to provide a copy of your proof of address to your school. And a proof of address needs to be specifically tied to the home. So your mortgage statement, your lease agreement, a power bill, home telephone bill. Those items will be required for you to present to the school so they can verify your address and make certain that you are indeed in their school zone.
Okay. What items have you seen in the past people generally bring and they don't understand why we can't take those? So what items are
a lot
not
of times,
acceptable?
Whatever comes in the mail you may think will verify your address, but again, we want to verify that it's tied to your home. So if it's a bill from the doctor, or maybe it's a credit card bill, something like that, we would not be able to accept. But anything that is tied to your home,
utilities,
the property
all
taxes,
utility bills,
all utility bills,
okay,
home telephone, and definitely your mortgage statement or your lease agreement. Those items will definitely be accepted.
So it's better just to bring one of those and
absolutely,
and not second guess it. Okay, so tell me a little bit about this affidavit form.
Okay.
I know we instituted the use of this form some years ago, and we're still using it today. Can you speak to that?
The affidavit of residency is the piece that accompanies the proof of residency. So in addition to providing your mortgage statement or your utility bill, you'd also need to complete the affidavit of residency. It's a form that just formalizes the process of enrolling, registering for school, as well as enrolling for school. All students are required, if you're a new student or if you are a returning student, students are required to complete yearly the affidavit of residency. It's a simple form that you initial statements and you sign, verifying that you are indeed a resident of Troup County. And it has to be notarized, and fortunately we have notaries available in our school system at the school sites and at the Office of Student Assignment to complete that notary piece for parents. So that's something that we provide as a service, or if parents like to complete it outside of the school system and present it, as long as it's notarized and completed, that's totally fine.
Do you know if there's a fee associated with the notaries who are with the school system?
There's not a fee. That's a free service we provide to our parents. So that's our pleasure to be able to help you assist you in that process of registration. But it is a requirement by law that is notarized.
Okay, all right. So this past school year, the Troup County Board of Education, we're going to move into talking about zones now.
Okay.
Did some restructuring, if you will, to our school zones. Can you talk about that so that we are bringing our viewers up to speed with the new elementary zones?
Certainly. It had been 20 plus years for the Troup County School System in terms of making changes to our assignment plan and our zone lines. So it's
20 years is a long time.
It's a long time. That's a long time.
Yeah, a lot happens in 1 year. Can you imagine 20 years?
And we've been fortunate to experience growth in Troup County, and things have changed, and change is good. So at this point, for the coming school year, the 2013-2014, the changes will be effective. And the Board of Education has decided that we will only make changes to the elementary portion of the school system, not middle and high school.
Right. So again, there are no changes.
No changes
to middle and high school for the 2013-2014 school year.
Absolutely, no changes to middle and high school. But for elementary students, if you are new to Troup County, or if you have relocated to a new address, then you will be impacted by the new changes to the attendance zones. The Board of Education has agreed to allow students to remain in their elementary school if there's no change. If you did not move, if you're in elementary school last year, you'll be able to return to elementary school. But if you're coming new to Troup County, or if you relocate within the county, then we will
use that moving from like West Point to Hugginsville.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that's just a way for us to maximize efficiency and productivity, and to make certain that we are being the best steward of taxpayer money. So that's something that we need to look at as far as a school system to ensure that we are maximizing that potential. Looking at the way we did things previously, there was a little bit of uncertainty as to where your child would attend school in elementary. A given address may or may not have a school specifically assigned for your address. With the new restructuring, that takes that piece away.
Ambiguity away.
It definitely takes the ambiguity away. So that you are definitely, if you move to a new address, if you relocate, or if you're coming into Troup County, you know your address has been zoned for a specific school. And as a parent, I would assume that would give you some type of comfort to know this address will make certain that my child will attend this school. So you can start to become more affiliated and more acclimated to that school.
Yeah, and that's important because during the year, we'll receive calls in our office for school tours, and it just makes sense now that if you're looking to move to this area, here's a school, the elementary school more specifically, that is zoned for this particular region.
Absolutely.
So that it makes it easier for everyone.
It does. And every address in Troup County has a specific middle school and a specific high school, but we now have taken that and made it more encompassing to elementary school. So now every address, you know your elementary school, you'll know your middle school, and you'll know your high school. And
with this new restructure, just to piggyback on what you were saying, there's no set feeder pattern as it used to be for middle school. So your child may go to Callaway or Garner-Newman. So it's kind of set up that way, but there's more information I know on our website about
Definitely.
that too.
Parents may have questions that we won't be able to cover on this show, but we're more than happy to give more information if they would like to contact the Office of Student Assignment to kind of help unpack this new change so that parents will be fully aware of how this may or may not affect their student.
Okay. And is there other information that you'd like to share with our audience today before we close out?
It's definitely just a pleasure to be able to speak to the viewing audience and to let our families know that we are available to assist. That is our mission, to be able to help parents and families be fully informed with their school information as far as registration or enrollment. Our office is available for questions. During the summer, there are different hours. We are available Mondays through Thursdays, typically during the summer, but we are just one phone call away in order to answer questions that parents may have.
Would you share the contact information, please?
It'd be my pleasure. Please reach us at 706-812-7900 and ask for the Office of Student Assignment, or you may visit us on the web at www.troup.org.
Okay, thank you again, Ms. Shanitra Ransom,
Thank you for
Coordinator of Student Assignment, for joining us today. And to you, our viewing audience, we are so glad that you tuned in. We'd like to also share with you before we close out, I know many parents are beginning to stock up on those school supplies because school starts August 8th, and it's right around the corner, believe it or not. So we've begun to distribute our school supply list to many of our local retailers. You're welcome to stop in and ask them about the school supply list, or you can visit our website, and Ms. Ransom gave you that, but I'll mention it one more time. It's www.troup.org. And as always, we are delighted that you tuned in today to learn more about the Troup County School System, and more specifically, the Office of Student Assignment. Until next time, make it a great day.